Something's got to give at Coventry City soon. Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. The saga goes on, there's a few more developments. As ever, hit that like button, subscribe, comment your thoughts on the latest in the Coventry City situation, and here's what's going on. The background, once again, Coventry City can't play home games at the CBS at the moment because the pitch is deemed unsafe. It doesn't really look like anything's being done to it. I mean, I've seen pictures and I don't know if it's particularly looking much better, but ultimately it looks as though this pitch does need to be relayed. I mean, it needs big work doing to it, and that is the issue at the moment. Are Wasps and Coventry City going to come to some sort of agreement? Because ultimately, home games at the CBS can't go ahead as things stand. Now, what this is meaning for Coventry City at the moment is home games are getting postponed one after the other. We saw the Rotherham game having to get postponed. The Bristol City game in the Carabao Cup got moved to Burton. I feel like that's okay for a one-off in that kind of cup game where there wasn't going to be a massive crowd for it. The Wigan game is now off. The Huddersfield game coming on Saturday at the time of recording hasn't been called off, but even Dave Boddy has come out and said it is massively unlikely that game goes ahead, and it looks like that will just continue happening. And once again, remember, this is a very, very, very crazy season where we're fitting a World Cup in and we're already getting games Tuesday, Saturday. The longer we can't play at home and the more games we postpone, the more mental our fixture list will be come the end of the season, to a point where the games could be almost 2 or 3 a week. I mean, that is not even sensible, to be honest, but that is the position we could get ourselves in if we can't even play these home games out in some sort of way. I saw they were trying to reverse the Huddersfield game, I think, to be played at Huddersfield. I don't think that's going to happen either, and it is genuinely such a mess. And the longer this goes on, the more the EFL will feel like they have to step in and do something. Now, ultimately, I don't see this as Coventry City's fault. People are obviously entitled to their own opinions on this, but I'm of the opinion that I don't feel like I know everything about this, as most fans probably don't, but it looks as though something has not been communicated properly between Wasps and Coventry City. Wasps do certainly seem to be taking a lot of the slack for this, and it looks as though a new pitch was promised, or promised that it'd be fit for the season to start in August, and obviously that's not the case. And as I say, the longer this goes on, the more the EFL are going to step in, and ultimately, we've seen how the EFL can handle things. I know they're not perfect. The EFL should be more supportive. I know it's not their mess to clean up, but ultimately, if they want Coventry City to be getting things sorted, we need someone to step in with a higher power to really get this resolved. And ultimately, it wouldn't surprise me if the EFL come in just with punishments as a way to try and encourage Coventry City to move this thing forwards. I've seen lots of people, and they're fans of away teams, that are saying Coventry City should have to forfeit matches or should be deducted points. Obviously, as a Coventry City fan, I do not want that to happen, and like I say, I don't even feel like the club is to blame for this. Obviously, something has gone wrong, and I'm not saying the club are perfect in this situation, but we're looking like we're getting to a point where home games aren't going to be on anytime soon, and the EFL will step in some sort of capacity. With Coventry City selling over 13,000 season tickets coming into this season, relocating really can't be an option. I know I want games to be played out, but I don't even know if Birmingham would take us back. I certainly don't want us to go to Burton or back to Northampton. Their grounds are too small, they're quite far away, and it's just not even fair. Obviously, it can't accommodate for all the season ticket holders. Would we even go to a Villa Park? I wouldn't like that personally. I don't even know if that's an option, but if we were to go there, can you imagine how soul-destroying it would be to go to Villa, and the fact that it's a big 40,000 seater stadium, and I don't even know what crowds would get there. It would feel very, very empty. I think what I want, and other Coventry City fans and other EFL fans want, is just some certainty. Now, as I say, I think something is going to give. Something needs to come out soon where either the Wasps or Coventry come to some sort of agreement. I've seen a lot of people talking about Wasps at the moment with their separate issues, whether that be financial problems they're having with players going into their new rugby season, and can they really sustainably stay at Coventry? Ultimately, they do own the stadium, but is it something that's very viable for them as a business? I really don't know where Wasps could go. Is there even an option for them to relocate somewhere else, or can they actually go bust? I know some people are holding out for that. It seems like Coventry City's owner Sisu seems to be holding out for something to give. For the amount of time we've seen Coventry say, we're going to build a new stadium, we're just staying at the CBS till now, it seems like there's a waiting game going on, and something's got to give. Ultimately, since I've been doing these videos trying to keep people abreast of the latest bits of information in this saga, people are coming out with all kinds of different views on this, and like I say, this is very opinions based when we don't feel like we know the full extent, and the blame is being levelled at Coventry City sometimes, predominantly at Wasps, the EFL for not intervening in a constructive and helpful way, and ultimately, can we relocate the away games? Can we start planning ahead into September's and October's games and start thinking these home games should be moved to the away stadium? Ultimately, for Coventry City, this was a season we were coming into with such optimism after last season, and obviously the atmosphere we were building at the CBS was very impressive last year. We've come into this with optimism. That's why fans have gone crazy for the season tickets and the shirts and everything. But then, if we're just going to be playing away games, we're going to have a very slow start, especially with a lot of home games being called off already. We're already in the bottom 3. Now, obviously, that's no real fault of Coventry's. We've played 2 away games, including a draw at Sunderland and, yes, the defeat to Mill, which was very frustrating. But right now, I really can't see a way in which this gets turned into a positive scenario. We need something soon. We need this uncertainty to end, and I just want some games to be played out. Like I say, if we get away games in first, we would have a big pile of home games towards the end of the season. But if we have loads of games come the second half of the season, can we really be positive about that? Because there's negatives to look into. There is obviously the fact we're playing so many games in each month that it'll take its effect on the pitch again. The pitch could get in an even worse state later through the season. It might be deemed playable by October, but then January it could be deemed unplayable again because of all the action that's getting played on it during the winter months. And is it really sustainable for the squad as well? We'd have to rotate a lot. Imagine if we are playing Saturday, Tuesday, and even having to chuck in a home game on the odd Thursday. We saw this a few years ago with Rotherham when they had quite a lot of games called off due to COVID, and people looked at Rotherham as this team that, well, what do we predict for them because they've got so many games to catch up on. Ultimately, with all those games they played towards the end of the season, although they didn't put in the best performances, you could see the effect of playing so many games in a short space of time. They weren't really able to recover. But this uncertainty is just killing me and every single Coventry City fan. I've got to say, the Coventry fans have been fantastically patient. I feel like there should be some sort of reward. I don't know if there will be, but the fact we're still taking great numbers on the away games as well, and I really hope in the games we are able to play at the moment we can get that first win on the road. I know the Hull City game will certainly go ahead later this month, but as for the home games, it is such a shambles. A brief thing worth mentioning, as I've seen Coventry City on social media and on TalkSport getting mentioned about, and Simon Jordan saying buying Coventry City or coming in is in play, and there's something that could give there. I don't really know. I feel like we've seen this before with Sisu, that we've had people look interested but nothing ever materialises, and if it was Simon Jordan, for example, they probably would need to build a consortium and it'd be a long time in the works. But could that help this situation? Would that help provide Coventry City land a more sustainable agreement playing at Coventry, and would they back Robins to a point where it could even help us push towards the Premier League? I really don't know. It's all just so uncertain. But I tell you one thing, the longer this goes on with less certainty, the more trouble it will cause. And whether that be problems for Coventry City or problems for Wasps, we just need to wait and see. It's a horrible time right now to be a Coventry City fan, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. Let me know your thoughts down below. What is the next thing to give in this saga? Drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.